on, guys? We have a 2017 Ford Explorer here, and we're going to be doing the spark plugs on it. This process works from 2011 to 2019. All Ford Explorers with the 3.5 liter V6, not the EcoBoost, the naturally aspirated motor. Alright, first thing we're going to do is disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. So 10 millimeter. Going to loosen this bad boy. This negative terminal is disconnected, tucked to the side over there. Now what we're going to do next is we have to remove this clip over here. So this one, you just turn it counterclockwise. Okay, when it finally does unthread, you could take it out. So you could even yank it out, but what I do is I keep turning it to the left and I put some pressure on it, pulling upwards as I do it, and it pulls out pretty easily. The next one we have to remove is right over here. So I got my flathead right here, and what I'm going to do is just tuck it in there and then lift this up. And you see it lifted up a bit, then I can use my fingers with the rest and then just pull it out just like that. So now that these clips are out, just keep them on the side somewhere, and then we're going to put the engine cover off. Now to pull the engine cover off, pretty straightforward. Start right here, lift from here. Ours is pretty beat up already, so you can just do that. You don't have to remove the oil cap there, that's not necessary. Alright guys, so now I'm going to start removing all the hoses and any harnesses that are getting in the way. So first one I'll start with is this one, because it's easy right there. And then second one would be this one, because it kind of blocks off these ones here. So you pinch this and push it out. Alright, so you just pinch those two tabs like I was earlier. And then I stuck the screwdriver flathead in there and then just twisted it from the bottom like that, and it popped out like so. And then what you can do is just pull this hose out and then make sure that green piece doesn't fall out. So once you pull the hose out, just lock it in there again so we don't lose that piece. And if this is getting in your way, what you can do is it's just connected like in here like that. You just pull it out like that and just sort of tuck it right there, get out of your way. Now what we need to do is disconnect this wiring harness that connects to the throttle body over here. So this red tab, pull towards yourself and then just press the black button over here just like a regular harness and pull this out. Alright, so now we're gonna move that clamp and then pull the hose off. Alright, move that like so. This is probably stuck on there, so I'm gonna see if I can find a pick that I could stick in there. If you have access to a 90-degree pick, you could use that. It'll make life so much easier. Alright, I couldn't find a pick, so flathead screwdriver just to crack it up a bit. I already did some from the top and the side. It's coming out. Almost there. Yes, we got it out. Now, same thing for the one in the rear right there. So you can either remove this one or this one. Just because this is facing down, I'm probably just gonna see if I could get that one off. Yeah, that one wasn't bad. Now, it's the same one here. I'm just pulling it from the other side. There we go. We got that out. Just tucked to the side there. And now, coming around, we have another harness here. So let's see if this is one of those pull ones. Yeah, it actually is a pull one. Push down on it. Disconnect it like so. That looks clear from this side. Just tuck it on the side there. I don't see anything else. Now we just have to get this coolant line moved and remove the intake pipe from this side over here. So let's get the coolant line out the way. So this one's out the way, and then let's see if there's anything else connected. I don't see anything else connected in there. So now I'm gonna loosen this, and then I'm gonna pull this clamp out, or I might just do it from here to save myself some time, and then lift it out the way. And then what I can do is I could just disconnect this tube from right over here. So let me disconnect that. It's got a pull on it, and then loosen this, and then lift it off and kind of pull it towards myself, let it lean over here. And just before you do that, even your OEM air intake box is going to have this. So what you do with this is, you see this gray clip, just take it out, push it like that, disconnect it like so, and just move that to the side. Now that way this is free to move. Now once we have this disconnected, just lift it, pull it towards myself. Alright guys, I thought I'd go ahead and show you this. So this is the factory air box over here. In the Explorer, I'm running a cold air intake. So the idea is the same, just a little bit different, just like one additional step on this one over here. So what you have to do on the OEM intake tube is basically you want to loosen that screw right there. Just make it loose enough so you can pull it off the throttle body. So once you pull that off the throttle body, what you can do is also loosen this screw. Once you make the screw loose too, what we can do is we can just remove the intake tube. We don't have to remove the whole air box, and we don't have to remove this portion of the air intake. So once this is loose, you could actually pull this off. All right, so I just loosened it up a little bit more, so it should be pretty easy to take off now. There we go. So you can remove this portion of the intake. Just remove the intake tube. You can leave the air box in. And before you remove the intake tube, there's going to be a hose over here. Okay, I got my intake tube out the way. That's what it looks like removed. Got this hose removed too. And now to access the screw under right here, what we'll need is, if you have the tool to kind of pry up on this, that'll be better, but I have a flathead screwdriver. What I'm gonna do is put it under the harness. They have this little thing the harness goes through to keep it secure in that one spot. What I'm gonna do is, it's kind of like a clip. I'm gonna lift up on it, and then that will kind of give me some room to play around and stick my socket wrench in there. Yeah, once I had it up about halfway, it came out. So now I have some room to kind of move it to the side like that. Now I could access the other 8mm over there. So that's pretty simple. All right, got my 8mm here with this long unnecessary extension connected to my socket wrench. And now we're gonna go ahead and disconnect all these screws here. So there's one. Just breaking them loose, and I could do the rest by hand. Once these are completely loose, they stay inside. They don't come out. They're just locked in. So what you could do is, to find out if they came out, you could lift them all the way. They'll stay locked. Except for this one. This one will come out completely. So we could try right now. See, this one comes out completely like that. Let's take this one for example. This one will stay into place. It just stays locked like that, you see? But it's loose, it's out. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and loosen all of those. It broke loose pretty easily. Guys, I need two hands. I can't be recording and pulling this off at the same time, so I'm gonna hold it and pull it off, because I need to watch, make sure nothing falls inside of the intake holes over there. That's gonna be bad. And also I want to make sure I'm not damaging anything as I remove it. So please, pretty straightforward. You need to use two hands to remove this. And if there's coolant hoses in the way or any harnesses in the way, move them around and move things around if you need to get that plenum out. So supposedly there's supposed to be an 8 screw connected to a bracket to remove before you pull off the plenum. But I did not find an 8 screw on any bracket or anything. The plenum came out pretty easily. So what I'm gonna say is, I assume it wasn't there. I just removed the 7 and it came out. And here we have the intake holes. So best thing to do right now is cover these intake holes so nothing drops in there. We don't want anything dropping in there. All right guys, check this out. With the plenum off, I just found out the 8th screw was supposed to be going through here. So I'm guessing they probably removed this plenum before and maybe never put the screw back, because I didn't have to remove it right now. Because I see the bracket there and this sits behind it, and then the screw goes in here. So it looks like there was one there, but it's not there anymore. Not a big issue. Obviously we have 7 out of 8, so that's still okay. So this is the plenum here. My gasket feels fine. If you think your gasket is brittle or you notice that it's not in good shape, let's get a new one, put it on. This looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I'm going to use the exact same gasket. I do not need to change the gasket. Alright guys, to change the spark plugs, the process is the same for all of them. I did this one and this one. Now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to show it to you guys. To disconnect the harness first. So to disconnect the harness, pull this backwards like that, push it in, pull it out. So pull, push, pull. So you need your 8mm, and then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the screw over here. Just break it loose, do the rest by hand. Remove this screw over here, and then what we want to do is lift the coil pack up, remove it like so, keep everything on the side together. And now what we're going to do is get our spark plug socket wrench, and pull the spark plug out. So I'm not using a long extension, 6-inch extension, and then just a spark plug socket and a socket wrench. And I'm gonna need 2 hands to break it loose. All right, now that I broke it loose, I'm gonna remove the rest by hand. There you go. We got the spark plug out. Now we're gonna drop the new one in. All right, got the new spark plug on here. Gonna drop it in the cylinder hole, and then hand tighten as much as I can. And then we grab the socket wrench, and with the socket wrench, I'm just gonna go snug. Ford suggests 11 foot-pound. I don't have a torque wrench, so I'm just gonna go snug. All right, spark plug's in. I dropped the coil back in, tighten it up. I'll plug the harness back in, and then once it's plugged back in, just push this tab back in to lock it. Alright guys, I put the plenum back on. Now I'm going to tighten the 7 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm going to put all the hoses back on, connect all the harnesses, go over it one more time, make sure everything's good, make sure everything is nice and secure. And before I start tightening, I'm going to make sure there's nothing stuck between those gaps there that could cause any issues. Alright, the screws are all tight. I'm going to plug back all these harnesses that I removed. So I'll plug this one back in, push the lock in, and then I'm going to come over to this side, get the throttle body one in, and push this in there. And then the other thing I'll have to do is you take this guy off. So this sits on here like so, and then over here, and then we're gonna plug this back into this hose. But remember, gotta squeeze these clips, pull it out from here, connect it in here, it's in all the way, lock it into place. All right, doesn't want to go anywhere. Now we plug in this harness. That's done. This is in, coolant line back where it's supposed to be in its home. All right, that's in. This is in. This harness is in. This is in. And then everything on this side is in. Then we have to connect this back to this. All right, that's good. And we gotta connect this back. this back right here. Push it in. There we go. That's in. And then bring that back up. All right. Then connect the intake, and then we'll fire her up. See what she does. All right, she's up and running. We're gonna take her for a test drive.